have to take our animals at least annually to visit the veterinarian. Now, for some animals, that can be a really harrowing experience. And the thing is, it doesn't get better as they get older, and often it can get worse. But it doesn't have to be that way. Now, the good news is more and more veterinarian clinics are becoming accredited fear-free clinics, which means they've gone the extra mile to make sure their environments and their processes are as little to no stress as possible for the animal, the client, and of course, the entire veterinarian staff. Even if your clinic isn't a fear-free clinic, there's 3 key areas that you can participate in to help make your visit to the veterinarian as a positive experience as possible for all involved, the veterinarian staff, yourself, and most of all, your pet. There's 3 key areas I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to keep this brief, and the good news is you can do this with a very minimal amount of training involved. First, let's talk about conditioning. And there's 4 things that you can be conditioning. Super easy. You might think, well, what's conditioning? You're talking about like conditioning my hair, Susan? I apologize in advance to all the dentists out there for what I'm about to say. But experiential conditioning is when you go to a new location and it ends up being a not so favorable experience. And then time goes by and you go again, and it again ends up being not so favorable experience. Eventually, you are going to get conditioned to that place. Before you even walk up the stairs, you're going to go, ugh. Like the dentist's office. As a small child, I got a lot of feelings. Big needles, sitting in a chair, terrible smells, and I was away from my parents. Like I was just in a room by myself. I learned to really not like the dentist's office. It's conditioning. Nothing like horrid happened. It was just uncomfortable. It wasn't something I want. We can make this conditioning for our pets intentional rather than experiential. Experiential is, well, I just hope that my dog or cat or ferret is one of those creatures that, like strange people or people they don't know. I'm not saying veterinarians are strange. Let's make it intentional, and there's 4 key areas that we can work on. Number 1, the clinic itself, the building, the parking lot, the smells. Most veterinarian clinics want what's best. Let me rephrase that. All veterinarians and their staff want what's best for their clients, their 2-legged and their 4-legged clients. So if you gave them a call and said, look, I've got a brand new kitten, I've got a brand new puppy, and I really want them to learn to love your place. There's some off-peak hours that I can stop by and just have good things happen there. I'm positive they're going to give you a list of times. And even if they say, Fridays around 2 in the afternoon are not so bad, and they might give you 4 or 5 times, still call in advance and say, I was going to pop by, still a good time? And all that you might do at first is walk in, give your dog or kitty or ferret something they love, and stay for maybe 2 or 3 minutes and then leave. And keep doing that, and you have far, far more intentionally amazing experiences for that pet than you do experientially unpleasant. Now, of course, the vet clinics are going to do their absolute best to make those experiences always positive, but sometimes the pet might just be sick. And so the feeling of feeling crappy in this new building might experientially condition them to not like that place, and it's through no fault of the veterinarian clinic themselves. Okay, the second thing that you can condition your pet to is wearing a head halter or a muzzle, because let's say your cat or dog tore out their toenail. It's happened to my own dogs, and they're in a lot of pain, and somebody has to get near them. If you've been conditioned to once a week for no reason, just put a muzzle on their face, give them good cookies, and take it off. Muzzle on your face, good cookies, take it off. Then when something bad happens before you go into the clinic, put the muzzle on, and then your dog isn't going to be in a place of danger to anybody that has to be touching them if they have a sore paw or something happens. The same is true with just being held. most creatures don't like being restrained. So you can do it starting when they're young. Just hold them, give them cookies, and let them go. Put a cookie in front of them so they have something to focus on, hold them, let them go. And as they get used to this game and learn to like it, you could ask people they don't know to hold them, focusing on a cookie, and let them go. So conditioning them to the clinic itself, conditioning them to wearing a muzzle or a head toggle so they have better control, conditioning them to being restrained. And the fourth thing is conditioning them to a carrier or a cage. Now, of course, we have a great online video called Crate Games that you can access exactly how to condition your dog and more, or condition your pet to a crate. And crategames.com has a lot more to it, but really all you have to do is set up a positive experience. Buy that crate, tie the door back, have some cookies on the floor, and have your pet just eat the cookies off the floor the first few times they're around it. Then put the cookies in the crate. Then eventually just get the pet in the crate, get them for a minute or two, get them out. Build up that they don't mind being in that carrier. So there's your conditioning times 4. Okay. Planning for the best experience possible. It's super simple. No, I'm going to be going to the clinic. I've made an appointment for my pet tomorrow. So I'm going to get everything out on the counter. I'm going to get their favorite treats. I'm going to get a short leash. I'm going to get a carrier. I'm going to have all these things laid out, and I'm going to have a plan for what it looks like when I get there. Now, that plan's going to include, are you going to leave your pet in the car, go and introduce yourself, and then go get your pet? Now, of course, if it's hot out, you're not going to be able to do that, but set the animal up for the best possible experience. And a lot of times that doesn't involve you talking to somebody at the front desk and your dog or cat looking all around. So plan for the best possible experience for everybody. Now, let's talk about the asterisk, okay? The asterisk is, what if you have a pet who is reactive? That means they don't like other animals. They might not like people, and they're not afraid to let you know it. So we want to set that animal up for the best possible experience, as well as every other animal that might be in the waiting room and the clinic staff themselves. So what can you do if you have an animal that's reactive? The Veterinarian Clinic, as I said, they want the best possible outcome for all of their clients, both the 4-legged and the 2-legged. And if you have a reactive animal, they know that is not setting up the best possible outcome for everybody in the waiting room. So let them know ahead, hey, I've got a dog, cat, ferret, whatever, that really doesn't like other animals or whatever it is. Let them know in advance and say, do you have a reactive pet protocol? A lot of clinics will have one. And if they don't, give them this one. Say, I'm going to show up and I'm going to leave my spouse, friend, neighbor in the car with my pet. And I'm going to have my pet conditioned to a muzzle. I'll come in and announce myself. And then what would be ideal for us is if you could just, I'll go back to the car and you text or phone or have somebody from the clinic come out and knock on my window and let me know when a room is available. Then I'll get my muzzled pet or my ferret or cat in a carrier, and I'll walk through your clinic waiting room, giving them good cookies, keeping their attention on me until I get to that empty room where we can be peacefully sitting and waiting for the veterinarian to see us all alone. That's just a great common sense reactive pet protocol that I'm sure any clinic would love to work with you on, because why? They want the best outcome for everybody. Taking action for the comfort of all. Now, a trip to the veterinarian clinic could end up in being chaos, or it could be comfort. And the difference is in how you go about entering and spending time in the clinic. So number one, don't walk into a clinic with your mind on your iPhone. not on your dog. Have your focus entirely on your dog. Number 2, please don't walk into a clinic with a pet on a retractable leash that you don't have control over. Even if you think you can lock that really fast, if there's somebody in the clinic you didn't expect to be there, your thumb may slip. Something unforeseen could happen if your animal is walking in a clinic on a flexi. So always, always walk in on a short leash. Next, please don't allow your pet to rush up to other people or other pets. You know what? The 4 words that should never be heard at a veterinarian clinic are, "It's okay, he's friendly." Because a lot of the times, that's just a cover-up for, "I'm sorry, I didn't train my pet." You know, we all have various levels of training on our animals, and it's okay. That doesn't mean your animal has to be out of control. The pet that the animal may be rushing up to may be one of those ones that doesn't like other animals in their face. So be kind and don't create chaos to anybody by having that animal on a short leash, keeping your attention completely on your pet. As you walk into the clinic, introduce yourself, or keep your dog or cat in the car. And make sure that if you have to walk by somebody else, regardless if your dog is going, "Oh my God, I love you, I want to meet you," take a hold of your dog by the collar, or your cat. Highly unlikely the cat wants to meet other dogs. And just walk by to a quiet area of the clinic where you can entertain your pet. That's the way to ensure comfort, not chaos for all. And that is how to create a positive experience at the veterinarian clinic for all involved.